You guys are really good at changing coverages defensively, and it feels like you've already done that a lot in this series. Changing matchups, stuff like that. What's that process like out there? I know Joe was just talking a second ago how a lot of that stuff's player driven. Like, will someone initiate a coverage change? Will someone, tell you, hey, Luke, you got this guy now? Like, what is that process like in real time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can work. Yeah, kind of in different ways. Just even wanting to, I mean, even series to series, just sometimes you want to change looks on a guy or whether it's like, yeah, someone's just like wanting to take on that challenge or even just based on different parts of the game, kind of what you wanted to take away from people. But I feel like honestly, with the experience that we've had of just playing a lot of games and honestly with the coaches just sort of understanding the roles and abilities that everybody brings, uh, then they'll even just tell people who they're guarding. And I think we all kind of have a sense of then how our roles sort of shift in that, whether it's being someone who's more of the help guy, being someone who's more the like point of attack guy who's trying to take away things, or um, even just hopefully trying to like stay away or trying to prevent their actions and stuff. So it can kind of be all those things, just based on the point of the game. I think a lot of times the coaches are kind of determining that based on other teams' lineups and how the game's just been flowing in terms of what we want to do our best to take away or try to prevent. So uh, I mean, it can work. Any guy honestly can say something and see something, and I think the coaches sort of take that in. Obviously, with just even switching a lot, like everyone's kind of getting different looks anyway. So I think it is a lot about just reading the flow of the game and what the other team's trying to do, and therefore trying to take those things away and at least make them try to do something different.
Mark and then Chris.
Hey, Luke, good to see you. Do you remember a moment or a stretch of the regular season where either you or the team really started to recognize the success and comfortability that you guys have carried through to this point on the road in particular? I know that the road dogs and the barking and all that stuff had to have started at some point, but is there a moment that you can kind of point to in the regular season where you guys really started to recognize that success that you were carrying?
Um, I mean, honestly, I feel like when I think of like the most prominent games on the road or kind of stretches, I mean, I think uh, the first time we played actually in New York in the on the road was pretty just like a good, fun, intense game, and I feel like our ability to just sort of play really disciplined basketball. But then honestly, even though it was towards like the end of the season, but we went on that West Coast trip. That was 6 games maybe, and I think it was 6 games. We went 6-0. And I think just like uh yeah, I mean, I don't know if that doesn't happen very often and stuff like that, but I feel like just like our comfort kind of with every game during that time and just how we felt about how we were like operating and executing as a team. Um yeah, that was definitely towards the end of the season, but I feel like by that point it was just like, hey, this is who we are. And I think just with the experience and stuff, I feel like how connected we feel and just in terms of executing what we want to do. And honestly, that road environment kind of just like honestly that like pressure just kind of like brings you all closer together and makes you just even kind of more resolute about what are we trying to accomplish, and like the focus becomes even clearer that um yeah, I guess those were kind of the points that I would at least that stick out in my mind. Also, we got some great Phoenix golfing in on that trip, so that really rallies the troops as well. Yeah.
Obviously, most important. Thank you.
Hey, Luke, just going into game three, what would you sense was kind of the mindset of the group? Because obviously you lose two games like that at home and things could go in a different direction than they went in game three. So what was kind of the mindset of the group as a whole, and what allowed you guys to have success and play with the poise that you did in game three?
Yeah, I think and with the first 2 games, I think, I mean, as you play in the playoffs and have that experience, like it's amazing how each game just sort of takes on a life of its own. And I feel like when we looked at ourselves after the first two, I'm honestly feeling really good about our intensity and effort and intentionality and stuff like that, and just knowing that we feel like we kind of like left those out. But at a certain point, as is kind of the case in like you just realize with the playoffs is like, well, the only thing you can do about it is sort of the next game, and obviously knew we put ourselves in not the best spot in terms of, you'd rather have won those two games than have lost the two. But um, I think just being ready for, like winning the game at hand and knowing that like yeah, that's just kind of what the mindset is and the goal is. And I think just being, yeah, kind of grateful for this position that we're in and being locked into it. And honestly, I think there's a little part of freedom where it's honestly nice to be reminded that like everything's not in your control. I feel like sometimes we can feel like we have no reason not to like, win every single game. And although that is the mindset of like you're going out to win every single one, uh it's good to know that like you can have the best intentions and have the best execution and still lose, and that's basketball. And so I think that's kind of a freeing feeling in a sense to know that we get out to go out and go compete and none of it is determined. And so um yeah, you just got to take it one game at a time and like let the game be played. And yeah, so I think just the freedom to compete was something that we were excited to have. And it's like not really care really look about anything else other than game three and what we had there. And I feel like that's the same kind of feeling for game four.
And just what have been your biggest areas of growth that you feel allowed for you to be where you are with significant rotation minutes in the postseason and how you've grown?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean it's really just sort of hard to point at any individual thing. I think I mean, yeah, just the experience and comfort of just understanding the game better, understanding what really makes a difference for us and our team in particular on both sides of the ball, and like what I can kind of bring to that to facilitate. And I think that's just something we've all grown in terms of, offensive recognizing when it's my time to just like space and really be a crasher, when it's my time to get involved in ball screens and how I can kind of just identify and recognize those times when we do have the advantages and be able to make those plays as quickly just to help our offense, run as best as it can. And then I think defensively, just I think it's something I've always done, but I feel like just getting more and more confident and comfortable about, um, being able to guard guys and help and kind of play those in between things to just try to take away the other team's like best options as best you can. And it doesn't always work perfectly, but I think just yeah, kind of understanding how the game's being played and what the real strategy of the game is, and going out to do your best to try to throw your fastball and keep the other team from doing so.
Thanks.
Thanks, Luke.